Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. And as always, thank you for all your support, including sharing, chatting, liking, and subscribing. Now roll that famous logo animation. Good evening and welcome back to Computerized Start Live. I am your host, Justin D. Morgan, and I'm glad to see that my Christmas lights are showing up with all the wonderful colors. In fact, if I think 1-Bit Fever Dreams is out there, YouTubers can't point. I turned that on for you tonight, 1-Bit. And there you go, I think Trina. Kitty's watching over, and of course it's all out of focus because camera settings. But you know what's not out of focus, at least not tonight, and that would be the chat that's right in front of me. Print might seem to be small some days, but I can still read that Thomas Armstrong, Francois, who should be sleeping. We have Kibbs with Retro. We have Frank S. We have Gut Bomb. We have Sadmac. We have Jeremy's Vintage Hillbilly Shack, who asks if Justin can be fashionably late, why not me too? Well, I think we need to get Jeremy a flat cap, because my response is, flat caps are fashionable, therefore I'm fashionably late. Let's see here. Yes, we have typos in the chat. No worries, I'll probably interpret the what you meant, not what you said. We have K-Mac Vintage. Hi, Will. We have I-8386SX, Jesse. We have Scroll Wheel that doesn't want to cooperate. We have Scarlet the Four-Eyed Cuda. Ah, yes, only my mic is in focus. Yeah, just noticed that now. Hi, camera. Hello, is me. Oh, let me guess. I'm going to have to start the silly program that came with this. Let's see, Anchor Work. We'll start the Anchor Work app, and I guess I'm going to have to set the focus to please connect your device to the computer. Autofocus, face focus is on. Bah humbug. It's telling me that it can't do things because I've got third-party software open. I don't care. Wait a minute. Oh, due to the limitations of some third-party software. Maybe if I turn face focus off? Oh, look at that. I turned face focus off and I think it focused on me. I turned face focus on and it focuses on my microphone. Take that. Alright, I guess I'll turn face focus off. Alright. Turn camera to my right a bit. My right... No, it's a mess over there. Never mind, yeah. Thinks my... Gut Bob says, it thinks your mic is a giant nose. Yes, Anchor Work. My microphone is part of my face, see? I don't know. Hold on, let's see here. Maybe I'll just turn autofocus off. And now everything is out of focus. There we go. Yay. All right. So that means I get to choose what's in focus. Is that how that works? There. Am I in focus? I think I'm in focus. You can see Microsoft Assembler. All right. We're going to go with that. We'll see how that goes. I think I'm in focus now. I hope I'm in focus. My microphone's not. I look like I'm in focus. Whatever. Moving along. All right. Well, I have a computer on the bench. It's not the one I'd planned to work on first because I thought, well, I realized I'd done something silly and then I think I realized that the thing that I did silly, I've undone, and it's under the motherboard for the first computer, but, well, too late. I've got a 286 on the bench. Let's see here. All right. Now that we've got that silliness out of the way, in fact, actually, you can somewhat see the... Oh, yeah, that's cool. You can actually see the little the ghosts and the... Well, you could probably tell it was Microsoft Assembler. I mean, what am I going to put there that's a big, giant box? Oh, hey, Retro Techie. Welcome. All right, let's see. Channel announcements. Let's get those out of the way. Coffee Goal, links in the description. Help me get to VCF East 2024. Let's see here. Cheap PC Challenge. I'm waiting for parts. So hopefully that video will be out someday before the end of December. Otherwise, I'm late. I bought things on eBay I might regret. Including this, yes, this AMD FX processor. I'm sure it's a real screamer. Although, I don't think I can actually use it in anything I have. But I only spent 99 cents on it. So, there's not much to regret. But I think what I was looking for was this package here, because I can use this in combination with the announcement that Tuesday's live stream will be taking a look at the 2CI. Because it's my domain's 25th anniversary, so we're taking a slight detour from December on Tuesday, so you can look forward to that. But at least I have a SCSI cable now, and it should reach. Just as long as I don't misplace it. Oh. Ah, yes. Someone, please go subscribe to Retro Techie if you haven't already. We need to get him off of that 666 number of subscribers. 667, maybe? Someone, please, go subscribe to Retro Techie. Alright, what do I have on the workbench? It looks like a mess, but... What do I have on the workbench? I have... Yes, it's probably the lesser of the two of the 286 computers, and I just realized that I'd done more to this computer than I thought I had. Okay, this might not be a very long... may not be on my workbench as long as I thought it would be. Anyways, I have a small pile of cards here for a reason, but... What have I done to this computer? All right, well, I have removed the floppy drive, apparently. I have removed the other floppy drive, apparently. This is what happens when, I think Mike Rowe, this is what happens when not Mike Rowe, like, cleans your computer and then ends the stream and puts stuff off to the side. Oh, that's probably why the power supply's open. Not Mike Rowe cleaned it. All right. Anyways, I have the original hard drive for this computer, so I need to go get the IDE connector. So that I can try to recover some data off that if it's readable. Let's see here. I have the screws for the computer. Ah, yes, I have a hacked Dallas real-time clock chip in here because I did not have the things to make the real-time clock replacements, and I still have... Oh, the other Emerson will hopefully be on the workbench. I have misplaced... Okay, so the funny thing is, previously I did not make the Dallas real-time clock replacements because I think I couldn't find the PCBs, but now I can't find the bag of components that has the crystals and battery sockets. So I have, like, misplaced the opposite thing. But, alright. Looks like I've got a 32 megabyte compact flash card in here. Good. Alright. I think I may have to power this up and see what state it's in. The other Emerson will be on the workbench at some point. We'll all hear it speak tonight. So, what have I done to this computer? Alright, one thing I think I did, and I hope I left it in that state, and maybe I'm just going to power this up to see, is I figured out how to upgrade the memory in this computer. And unlike some other friendlier systems of the day that made it really easy to upgrade the memory, this computer didn't make it easy. Because I don't have the manuals for this computer. I don't have... There's no, like, cheat sheet for the jumpers on the top of the case. Nothing. There's just a bunch of unlabeled jumpers. So, couldn't tell you which jumper does what. I mean, in fact, I think looking at the top of that jumper block, it is... Oh, that's actually the bank 1 mark for the memory. Anyways, this computer came with 1 megabyte of RAM, which I'm sure at some point... Oh, yeah. Okay. So it came with 1 megabyte of RAM. And it would be this RAM here. So it had 8 514-256 chips. And I just realized something totally ingenious here. So I need to undo my jumper settings so I can run a memory test probably on this computer, if it'll run. Because I just realized these memory chips are the same memory chips that the video card uses, and I was about to swipe chips off of another video card to upgrade the video memory. Okay, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself because you all are probably like, no, Justin, you need to leave that memory on the motherboard because don't you want a total of 5 megabytes of memory? And yeah, Jeremy has quickly noticed there are no parity chips for the original RAM. Yes, I noticed that too. This board is a wonderful board, as I figured out. And this is where I'm probably going to try to pull up the retro web so I could show you what I did find. Because this board here is not on the retro web. However, let's see, what's that part number? KMA. I don't remember what the manufacturer is right offhand because it was a couple weeks ago when I looked it up. Let's see, I believe this is a Kaime. No, not a Kaime. Is that right? KMA. Oh, yeah, okay. I think it's either a Kaime or it could be Arch. Because it looks like Arch also made motherboards that started with KMA. So it's quite possible Kaime renamed themselves to Arch or something like that. Anyways, there is no KW KMA 232F 12S board on the RetroWeb. However, I did a web search, and the one thing I did find is that there is a KMA 202F 12R board on the RetroWeb. And it helps to click on the screen of the RetroWeb and not on the OBS window to actually open the thingamadoodle. Now, so observe the picture of the motherboard that someone has posted to the RetroWeb while I zoom in, frame the bench just a little bit here. All right. So, kind of keep in mind, we got an Acer controller of some sort here. We got a wind bond. There's our Dallas chip. There's, I believe, the BIOS. We got 4 SIM slots. We have DIP memory. We got some more wind bond chips here. There's our BIOS. I think that's actually the keyboard controller. BIOS. There's wind bond. There's the processor, FPU socket, wind bond thing. There's the crystal. Blah blah blah. Okay. So you kind of get the layout there. Oh, let me move the mouse to the correct monitor. All right, now let's kind of take a look at this board. All right. Well, there's our Acer chip. I think it's the multi-IO controller. Okay. There's the keyboard controller, the Dallas real-time clock chip. There's our wind bond chip. There's our SIM and our DIP memory. Okay, so this board doesn't have these populated, but there's our DIP memory. There's our BIOS. There's our wind bond chips. There's our Intel CPU, and there's our FPU socket. So, yeah, I'm like, wow, so, all right. So there's the photo on the RetroWeb. So you're probably saying, okay, I don't see all the ISA slots, but there is one ISA slot. The backplane or the riser card is plugged into it. But yeah, so I was like, okay, that's cool. That looks very close. Yeah, yes, this RAM is socketed, so I can pull it out easily. All right, so I'm like, okay, that's really cool. That looks really close. In fact, even the floppy and IDE ports and the serial and parallel ports are in the same place on the board here. So I'm like, okay, that's really cool. All right, does it have documentation? Yes, there is a user manual. So I'm like, okay. We have a seemingly close sibling match with the photo. So let's see here. Let's take a look at the manual. And let's see if maybe some of these other things look the same. So, okay, yep, marketing speak, blah, 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 blah. The clear, well-illustrated instructions in this manual ensure that even if you are a newcomer to the computer world, you will have your system installed and running with the minimum of effort. Wow, that's so reassuring. So, the features here, well, the 12 megahertz processor, that is a match. And it does have it doesn't have a turbo switch, but I think it's a key controlled. So 2 serial ports, 1 parallel port. Well, this computer here has that same combination, as far as I can tell. I don't think it had headers for all of them. Actually, let me look. Okay, no. Okay, it does look like it only had the serial port. Oh, because it looks like the parallel port is actually... Oh, actually, one of the serial and parallels is actually on the board. So there's only one header, but it has that same combination. Let's keep this in mind. RAM subsystem of 512 kilobytes, 1 megabyte, 2 megabyte, or 4 megabyte. RAM configurations of 640, 384 kilobytes. All right, expansion slots doesn't matter, blah, blah, blah. More stuff. Here we go. Specs, more specs. All right. Board layout. So I think this board layout is, well, it's sideways in the manual, but anyways, so far so good. Everything's here. The buzzer shown here is on this board. Floppy and IDE controllers are in the same place, so that's good. I mean, we only have one serial port header here, but the other two are along the backside of the board. Not surprising, since this was designed for a riser card. So, all right, this manual has jumper settings. So, there is a block of jumpers beside the DIP memory here. Now, this is kind of where I had to take some guesses, because on this manual here, they're labeled JP8 through JP13, and actually they are labeled the same on this board. And they're in the same orientation. So now there is another jumper block here between these two wind bond chips and kind of near the oscillator. Now the one thing is, though, on this manual they're labeled JP4 through JP6, but on this board they're labeled JP14 through JP16. So really interesting. We'll get back to that. So this manual says there's a JP7, but it's marked JP17 on this board. All right, there's a JP3 3 on the manual near the keyboard controller. And on this computer, it is actually marked JP7. So, interesting. I don't know why they... foreshadowing, you're probably going to figure out that, yeah, the jumpers are named differently, but they do the same thing. So, yeah, spoiler alert. Yeah, they're probably wired to the first... They're probably on the Isobus, yeah. Because I have a feeling if I compared boards, this riser board is probably in one of the same positions, if not the same position. And then there's some bus transceivers. But anyways, yeah, that's probably what they did. But anyways, and then there's a bunch of other jumpers down here, and actually some of them are there. Anyway, so the jumpers are named differently. But anyway, so I thought, okay, well, let's just take a look at the RAM jumpers here. So 3 jumpers, JP4, JP5, and JP6 are used to configure RAM size on the motherboard. The 2 RAM banks can be made to contain from 256K up to 1 megabytes. So anyways, the manual is slightly cut off. Someone scanned it crookedly, but anyways, so the configurations for this board, thanks to there only being 3 jumpers to set it, is you can have 512K of RAM and no extended RAM and no shadow RAM. You can have 640K and 384K and no shadow RAM. Now, this, I believe, is how it originally shipped, with 1 megabyte, and I think it was configured for 640K and 384K of extended RAM. I think you go in the BIOS to configure how much you want as extended and how much you want as EMS. Or you can have 640K of RAM and no extended or EMS RAM. And I have no idea how in the world you populate that memory. Yeah, the whole scan is skewed. But anyways, so you come down here. So you can have 640K plus 1408K of extended memory, which I think that'd be if you have 2 megs and no shadow. Oh, I did skip. You can have with 1 megabyte, you can actually set 128K as shadow RAM. And I did figure out you actually have to jumper the configuration with shadow RAM for it to actually shadow anything. So we can come down here and see that I could set this board theoretically for... Oh, I think I may have missed this, because right now I have this board set for... Oh, right now I have it set for the last one, because I think I missed this here. So I have it set with 4 megabytes of RAM, 128K of shadow, 3328 of extended, and 640K of base RAM. I think I missed this here. I could have set it for 3456 if I changed the middle jumper. So actually I'm going to do that, because I didn't really... Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe I'll leave the shadow on at the moment, because that's what's in the BIOS. Anyways, but so that's the jumpers there. Oh, yeah. But then the other jumpers you have to set for... Oh, yeah, this is like the really confusing part. So if you're... Oh, no, if you're using Sims, you have to set pins 1 and 2 for that jumper block near the Sims. If you're using dip, you set them to 2 and 3. If you're using dip memory, well, you can... Well, okay, you can have up to 1 megabyte. And if you're using sim memory, you can have up to 4 megabytes. Now, interestingly enough, this manual doesn't say that this has to be parity. However, if you have sim memory, it does seem to imply you need to have parity sims, which I have. So, because if you'll notice, it says by 9, which is parity. Anyways, I think this is the same board. Anyways, so we got jumper settings. Now, the one thing is, for some reason, I put these memory modules in to test it, and I didn't want to... I don't know. I'm trying to remember why I ordered memory for this computer. So, anyways, these are those plastic sim clips. So, maybe if I remove these, I'll remember why in the world I'm wanted to take them, and I think I pulled these out of something. Now, quite honestly, I'm trying to remember what I pulled them out of as to why I bothered ordering different sims for this computer. I don't know. I'll probably, hopefully, remember at some point. Or maybe if I go through the footage of me working on this board to figure out the jumpers, maybe I might remember where I pulled this memory from. Or maybe if I look at this board, or maybe if I look at these sims, maybe these are actually... Oh, actually, I think I may know the reason why. I think this may be... Oh, see you later, Frank. I think I know why I ordered sims now. I think those are 256K sims. I think actually the board is... I think the board may be... I think those might just be 256K sims. I may have swiped them from... Oh yeah, I might have swiped them from the 2CI now that I think about it. Maybe that's why I was... So, alright, trying to put these memory modules in. Maybe that's why I ordered the memory. Because I knew when I got back to this, I would need the 4 megabytes. I'm not sure I quite agree with the comparison, Jeremy, that 4 megabytes of memory in this 286 would have been like 4 terabytes. Because maybe when it first came out, it might have been like 4 gigabytes now. It'd have been a lot of... Well, okay, maybe not now. Because 4 terabytes is a lot of RAM. It's kind of been like having, like, I don't know, 16 gigabytes for Windows 10 now. 32 gigabytes. Oh, thanks, Gut Bomb. Anyways, let's, before I continue any further on this and wonder why in the world I've done certain things, I think maybe I should, like, test it in its current condition to see what it does and what it doesn't do. Now that I put that RAM in. Because also, we need to see what my eBay regret quotient is on that RAM. Was it an excellent purchase, or was it a complete regret, or was it somewhere in between? Alright, I do have the smart outlet off that this plugs into. Plus, I'm only touching the metal frame. I'll leave the power supply open until I remember why it's open. I think it might be just because I cleaned it. Yes, remember, don't do this at home. I'm a trained professional. I know exactly what I can and cannot touch in that power supply. And I'm not foolhardy enough to actually stick my hand in while the caps could be charged. And at the moment, my smart outlet is turned off, so there is no power going to that Alright, let me plug... Alright, let me plug power in... There we go. Power into the compact flash card adapter, because I think it's going to boot into DOS. Now, the question is, how much memory do I have? Alright, so power supply should be on when I turn the smart outlet on. And... Oh. And Chris just sent me a... Oh. Ooh. No. Come on. I just want to send the message. Thank you. All right. Yeah, I know that everything I had in here, except for the RAM I just added, tested good. All right. 3, 2, 1. Well, that's weird. Well, oh. Hold on. Oh, that's right. There's this... No, there's not a switch on the side of the power supply. Is it turned on? No. Oh. The power supply is, Oh, there we go. Power supply turned on. Oh, that's right. I think I need to recap this power supply. It has weak caps. Now I remember. That's right. This power supply doesn't turn on the first time. Gut Bomb, it is my only AT keyboard that doesn't have quirks and features. Mostly quirks. I have another AT keyboard, but it supposedly has auto switching. Okay, I have like no video. There we go. Now I have video. There we go. Diskette drives or types mismatch error run setup. I need to get an AT keyboard that doesn't try to auto switch between XT and AT. Or at least one that, if it does auto switch, it actually does it correctly all the time. Because the only other AT keyboard I have tries to auto switch between XT and AT, and it sometimes doesn't do it right, which causes weird things to happen during boot on computers, where it doesn't always give a keyboard error, but it, like, I think might be sending phantom keystrokes. Ah, yes, and I have caching turned on, and there's an interesting quirk with caching on this board, that when it caches the VGA BIOS, it, like, reloads it. But yeah, it's a German keyboard. It confuses me, too. Alright, so I've got... I'm going to probably put the GoTech on and run a memory test, but let's, Oh, I do have Check It on here. Okay. Alright, well, I'll run a check at memory test. It's better than nothing. It's actually, I'm not sure mem test will run on a 286. Alright, well, guess we'll run a quick test. Alright. Yeah, I've got an Emerson keyboard, but it tries to auto switch and it doesn't. Like, for example, things it does. So, my Emerson auto switch keyboard. Yeah, Jeremy, you did offer me one, but I think your offer, or at least I thought it was, you were going to swap me keyboards. But I wanted the one that matched the luggable case. So, yes, you did offer me one that was in English. I may have misunderstood your offer, too, potentially. But yeah, I've got an Emerson keyboard, which works fine in my 8000 EC XT computer. So, it's like, oh, you were going to swap the gut. Oh, but the keycap colors weren't going to match. That's why I didn't take you up on it, because I wanted at least matching keycaps. I mean, the German one is cool looking and all, but it does get confusing to use. But anyways, my Emerson auto switch keyboard, it works fine with the 8000 EC, because it's like if it's able to clearly detect an XT computer and it switches and it just works. However, on my Emerson Elite SX 386, half the time I think it chooses poorly and it interrupts the memory test. Because I think I figured out the reason why the memory test sometimes aborts early on that computer is its keyboard, which the keyboard didn't come with it. Okay, the memory test worked. Now, one thing I have added is a floating point unit to this computer. It's actually not the one I really wanted to put in this computer, but this computer likes it, so whatever. Alright. So, anyone want to see how fast this computer is? Yeah, I'm sure you were just wondering. Alright, well, I do know that I better use... I think this is probably all we need to do. um... Okay, I think this is going to be the complete opposite of my Super 7 computer, which just like went zoom. I think this one's going slow enough we could catch HAL as they fell. If we could just reach out and grab them, we could catch the HAL letters well before this computer will get there. Also, I always have found it kind of somewhat disturbing on this benchmark that the computer is just levitating in space. Jeremy says, is the fire extinguisher handy? This one is blazing fast. Well, the processor is kind of warm right now. Interestingly enough, my 287 XL is like not the least bit warm because it's not doing anything right now. What are we going to have, like 4 seconds per frame? I'm kidding. Like 4 frames per second. 4.7 frames per second. Yeah, I think that's about all we need to run. I don't think we need to run Chris's 3D benchmark or we'll be here all night. I think the PC player benchmark is probably not even. Okay, well, actually, I think the PC player benchmark, if it'll run. Oh, it doesn't even run. Okay. I realized, wait a minute, that one drops frames if it needs to. So we wouldn't be waiting all night. Landmark system speed test. That one will actually run on a computer like this. Yep, this computer performs like a 19 megahertz AT with a 14 megahertz 8287. Which is probably good because it's actually a 287XL. Let me see if I can figure out what the deturbo key sequence is. There we go. Jesse says, this 286 is still more productive than the LA Chargers tonight. There we go. Actually, interestingly enough, if you deturbo the system, the FPU is not that much affected, interestingly enough. Of course, it is an 80, it's the 287XL, so it actually internally runs at like 3/2 of the clock speed. Basically, the 287 usually runs at 2/3 clock speed, because there's usually a divider on the motherboard. The 287XL is based on the 387, so it can actually run faster. So it has an internal 3/2 multiplier that undoes the 2/3 divider on the motherboard. So the 8287 XL runs at, basically it's running at system clock speed or thereabouts. I was kind of interested that dropping the turbo speed didn't affect it much, but then again, maybe the turbo only changes the clock going to the CPU and the FPU gets the same clock. So yeah, on the Intel platform, or at least on some of them, the FPU runs it asynchronously to the CPU. I think that's probably mainly the 287 that does that. Although I think the 387 can, but usually did not. At least in the later boards, it usually ran at the same speed. There is no cache on this board. I guess we can see what check. Oh. Yeah, this, woohoo, won't run on a 286. What do you know? Yeah, I guess that's about it. Also, you probably noticed that the Doom and Quake benchmarks aren't on this version. They won't run on a 286. Or if they will, well, they take too much disk space. Alright. See, one thing I would like to do, and actually, now that I remember that the caps are weak on this power supply, I guess I'm not going to finish this tonight, because I forgot to order caps. I am going to turn off the shadowing, because... Well, then again, though, that's making this machine run really well. Okay, I guess I'll leave shadowing on. Why not? Oh, but I did want to do an upgrade of the video RAM, so... I guess, though, what I will do... Because if I'm using Sims, there's no sense of leaving memory on the table. Although... Yeah, why not? I'll just, because actually, the video memory that's soldered on the board is the same exact Oki memory. M514256A-80R 911. Interestingly enough, it's got slightly different codes on the bottom, but I think that's just probably because the board was probably manufactured with the video memory soldered and sockets installed, and then I suspect when they built the computer to spec, they probably populated the DIP memory at that time. So they probably had, because all the codes on these chips match, and the codes on these two match, but they don't appear. They're not from. These are from, I think, week 16, and these are from week 17. So it looks like when they populated the memory in these sockets, they used a different batch of memory. Quite possibly the board manufacturer, because I don't think Emerson. No, Emerson didn't make their own computers. I think they contracted that out. I have no evidence that they made their own computers, but it seems like all the Emerson computers that I have from Emerson Computer, they all seemingly look a lot like some of the other OEM systems. So, all right, so there we go. Ooh, I was the first person to plug something in there. Hey, Dave. I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul. Although, in reality, since I'm only taking memory from the computer and putting it in itself, I don't know that that statement necessarily applies. But yeah, I'm because with sim memory you can't use the DIP memory, so I figured, well, I might as well use the DIP memory that came with the computer because it's the same speed. Because there's a reason why I haven't the 8-bit Trident card sitting up. If anyone kind of thought they recognized the edge of this card, I was going to swipe 2 of the memory chips off of it because I don't. I've got a bag of memory of the correct type somewhere, but I don't know where I've placed it. All right, so there we go. 2 memory chips. And let's see if it recognized. Yep, there we go. It recognized it. Might have to install Windows. Hey, thank you, Dave. All right. For more DOS stuff. All right. All right. Now I got actually, I don't think I've got anything on this computer that can use all that video memory. But as you can see, the system powered up with me swiping 2 of the chips. All right. Now, I think all good PCs need a sound card. Wait a minute. That was some weird glitching when I turned the system off. Oh, it's me turning the system off. Whatever. Well, I need to recap that power supply, and I'll have to order caps. Yeah, that's just power going down. Okay, nothing to be worried about. All right, so I don't need this Trident video card because the onboard, I'm presuming 16-bit Trident video actually works. So now I need to decide on a sound card. So I've got some choices here. And I think I'm now realizing that maybe for my Super 7 board. Maybe I should have used this Opti sound card. I'm not sure if it has a OPL chip. It's probably built-in synthesis. So I've got this Opti card that I realized I had, or I've got the ESS Audio Drive 1868. So I know that card will probably sound nice. Not quite sure which one will. Obviously, I'm going to be running DOS games, so I need one with DOS compatibility. It's the chipset, if anyone's wondering, is the Opti 82C 931. And if anyone thinks that they're like, oh, isn't that one of those OPL clones that's not marked OPL? No, that's actually a Motorola LS245. So I think that actually is a Motorola LS245. And these are too small for the usual clones. So actually, let me see if there was anything else I might have over in my sound cards. Because I could go get the 688 that's in my IBM. I think it actually has an OPL chip on it. I thought it might be nice to use a card that had an extra IDE channel on it in case I wanted to put a CD-ROM in a 286. That, I don't know. Be fun. Could be a headache. Oh, here we go. I could adapt the PCI card to ISA with some sketchy adapter, but no, I'm not going to do that. That sounds so much fun. Ah, that's another 1868. All right. Well, I guess let me go to DOS Days and see what they say about that OPL chip. Hardware. Oh, come on, internet. Sound cards. Opti 931. That one may actually be newer than I want to put in a 286. Let me see. 931. Oh, that's a plug and play integrated OPL3 clone. Hmm. Okay, that's probably newer. All right, let's take a look at the ESS. You know, maybe I should go swipe the ESS card I put in the IBM. I think the Opti card is too new for a system like this. I mean, it would probably work. The software would probably configure it, but I think it's newer than you'd find in a 286. Sound cards, ESS. Let's see here. The 688 is uses, let's see, the software MPU 401. All right, we look up the 1868. Actually, maybe I should get a 1688. That would probably be a good match. That's a non-plug and play card, but it actually has a hardware MPU interface. That might be a good match for something like this. 1868 has a hardware MPU 401 interface. The plug and play card. Oh, that ESS card might be a good match. Because apparently, even though it's a plug and play card, the software will configure it. Software can configure it if you are using it in a non-plug and play system. The Opti card. And the Opti card doesn't say. All right. Ooh, the Opti card would be good in a Windows 95 system. Maybe I should put the Opti card in the IBM. All right. All right. I think I'll put the at least for now, I'll put the 1868 in here. We'll just make sure I've got the card configured for secondary IDE. And I should be good to go. Let's see here. All right. $15. Oh, interesting. All right. Okay. Cool. All right. I will put the sound card in here. And guess I'll try to get the drivers installed, and then maybe we'll go to the talking Emerson computer. Of course, I just realized I'm gonna need to put a sound card in it too. Hmm. Well, I might swap sound cards at some point. I was trying to think. Maybe I should put the 688 in this computer because it has a software MPU port, and put the 1868 in the 500 EC, which has a faster processor, and I'd be more likely if I ever wanted to play games with an external MPU or a wavetable card, I might be using the faster computer. Hmm. Both both logics are sound. Yeah, both logic statements make the same sense. Huh. Because I can put this Opti 931 in the Windows 95 system, because I think that's about what type system it would be perfect for. I think it was a really designed for Windows 95 card. Cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna put the 688 in this computer, I think. So let me go swipe the 688 out of the IBM board. The really cool thing is, oh, that's right. I was going to put the oh, I was going to put oh, that might complicate things. All right. Yeah, just realized I was going to put OS2 on the IBM. So this access swap might actually not be good. The ESS cards all have OS2 drivers. I don't know if the Opti card has OS2 drivers. Oh, the Opti card may only have DOS and Windows drivers. Now that could complicate that. All right. Let me do a quick search here. I may need to pick up another sound card at some point. All right. Da, 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 da. Oh yeah, that Opti card is definitely a yep. Opti. Ooh, OS2 Warp 4. Okay. All right. So the Opti card is not going to go into the IBM because the drivers require OS2 Warp 4, and I'm going to use OS2 Warp 3. So that means I need an ESS card for the IBM, which means the Opti card. Yeah, I'm mentally going through this because this will determine which cards I have spare. That means the Opti card needs to go in my Super 7 build, probably because it'll probably work on Windows 98. Yeah, this is the challenges of. So I think that means I can swipe the card out of the Super 7 build. Yeah, all right. So that means the winning sound card for this computer is the Advanced Logic ALS 120. Oh, that's really weird. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so this case has retainer clip for the lower brackets, but not this top one. I guess so that the sound card's actually stable. Let me put it in the bottom slot. Yeah, Jeremy is. Well, I have my other favorites for older systems, but it probably will be a better match for something I'm not going to play MIDI files on. But because when I played Canyon.MIDI through it, there was something missing. So, however, this computer has Trident onboard videos, so compromises must be made for the sound card. Also, I'm running low on sound cards. All right. There we go. All right. Let me see if I can find drivers. That means I'm going to need to plug in the GoTech. Oh, which means I'm going to need a power adapter. Oh. All right, hold on. We'll get drivers installed for this, and all right. All right, let's see here. Here we go. This will work. All right, so all right, GoTech is engaged. The thumb drive for it is right here. Oh wait, I may not have the advanced logic drivers on it. Oh, that could be a problem. All right. Oh yeah, this is definitely a budget system. Especially with the advanced logic card in it now. Actually, I don't know if this was a budget system or not. I don't know how much this computer cost new. This actually could have been a really expensive computer for all I know. Ooh, Trident video on board. Fancy. Oh, forgot to go into the BIOS. There we go. See here. The BIOS on this computer is most definitely not Y2K compliant. At least not setting it. I think I can set a year 2000 if I'm in DOS. Alright, let me see if I've got the ALS drivers here. No, but I've got Alright, so while that copies, let me see if I can find the ALS 120 drivers, preferably on a floppy image. Oh, fun fact, Advanced Logic was acquired by Realtek, so that's what happened to Advanced Logic. Realtek bought them. I'm glad that Realtek's... Well, I guess they, Oh, actually this Advanced Logic card has OS2 drivers. Interesting. However, this card's not good enough for an IBM. So, this'll do. Alright. Well, alright. Oh. Oh, they might be the same command, Jeremy. I wonder if any chance... Nope. I'll have to install the drivers. If I can get the drivers to download, that is. The Dusty's website's having trouble. Alright, let me try... archive.org if this zip file has the correct thing. No, that's just the 100 series drivers. Okay. Just wait a minute. Didn't I have the drivers for the other day? Hold on. I may already have the drivers downloaded. But it may only be the Windows 95 drivers, so I may still need to find them. So, let's see here. Let's see. That's all from Tuesday. Alright, here's last week. Yep. That's the Windows 95 drivers. Oh, wait a minute. Windows 95 drivers for this card had a DOS installer, didn't it? Yes, I think it did. Yeah, there we go. Oh, here we go. Okay, I do have the drivers already. All right. Extract. All right. Here we go. All right. Let me put them on a disk image here real quick. Image. Yeah, I'll have to go upstairs to actually do anything with this, but select all these files. Okay. Oh, too many files. Wait a minute. Oh, never mind. Let's try again. New. Don't want to save. All right. Disk image inject. Select all the files. But because I tricked myself where I put the file, I don't want that one. All right. Yes, that fit on a disk. All right. Save as image. Excellent. All right. Now, yeah, I don't know what this version of DOS does with the two commands. To more directly answer your question, Jeremy, I kind of seemingly think that SadMac may be correct in thinking that not all versions of DOS actually had them doing the same thing. Is that seemingly my impression? Okay, I have the drivers on a floppy image. Let me go upstairs real quick and copy them to my thumb drive because my brand new one that this computer probably likes is all the way upstairs because I need to reformat it. So I will be right back. Hold, please. Be cool in the chat. This will only take a moment because I just need to copy the one image for now. Okay. I have the disk image on here. Basically, it's everything in the zip file that I downloaded for the Windows 95 install I did last week with this card. Or the week before. That image also had the DOS and Windows drivers. Luckily, I remembered. Oh, Jeremy, yes, they did finish the sheets. They finished in... Actually, I think they finished it in May. I think it was open Memorial Day weekend. Oh, well, that's weird. Huh. Okay, maybe this program doesn't like to be run from a floppy. That's weird. Okay. Okay, apparently the MD and MakeDir do the same thing in DOS 622, at least. Yes, Jesse, we have Sheets and Wawa in the same state. In fact, sometimes even in the same city. In fact, sometimes right across the highway from each other. Yeah, I'm looking at you, US 29 and Airport and Profit Road. The Sheets on one corner, and a Wawa on the other. And in fact, on the third corner, there's a Walgreens. And no, before you think, oh, does that mean there's a CVS on the fourth corner? No, actually, the bank branch has been there for like practically forever. So it's a bank branch. But the CVS is only one block down. And in reality, it's not a very long block. So you can see the CVS and the Walgreens from each other. Jeremy says, Wawa for the coffee, Sheets for the grub. Yeah, I actually prefer some of the things at Wawa, but however, I have found there's a number of things I do like at Sheets too. So I I can find something I will like at either. Uh, Wawa coffee might be better though. However, my local Sheets has a pretty neat system where it'll actually grind the coffee to order. So you like push the buttons and it actually grinds the beans and then brews it right there. Jesse says I'm stuck with Quick Trip. Ah yeah. Ah yes, that'd be a what kind of Midwest staple. All right, let's see if this will even install. Okay, maybe there's actually something up with this installer. Oh yeah, but hi Eric, welcome. Jeremy says I'm stuck with Easy Mart. T-Max says visited Bucky's when he did his 10-hour draft, never going there again. But you don't need to go to a gas station that's got like 100 bazillion gas pumps and 14,000 different flavors of pecans. With a freaky giant beaver at the front door. Yeah, that actually I probably made it sound scary. When I describe it that way, maybe I don't want to go there either. Like, if you're low on gas and you're trying to navigate their parking lot to figure out where the unleaded fuel pumps are, you might run out of gas trying to get to them. K-Back says, Disney World of gas stations, Jeremy says, Buc-ee's is way overrated. I oh, I think this installer does not like this computer at all. Maybe I have chosen poorly for a sound card. Will says, very overrated. My son wanted Reese's, and of all items they sell, they don't sell Reese's. Jeremy says, I go there for only gas, a restroom break, and maybe a fountain drink. All right, let's All right, I think there was a README file. Okay, so let's see if I can figure out where numlock's on. Okay, setup.exe is for Windows 3.1. All right. DOS install.exe is a DOS installation program. Okay. Okay, I don't want the Windows 95 troubleshooting. Cannot load the IDE CD-ROM drive. That's not it. No sound. Hmm. Okay. Don't know. Oh. Okay. So A4 config.exe, A4 init.exe, and all right. Whoops. All right. I'm just going. I think I know what I need to get this to work. the DOS install program doesn't seem to want to run on this computer. All right, I think I remember that README file. Oh, there it was. Remember, I'm using a German keyboard. So all the keycaps, some of the keycaps have the wrong thing printed on them. Okay. I need A4 init.exe. And let me open that README file up real quick on my computer. cd setup.sys, a4init.exe, and a4config.exe. Okay. Oh, actually, I need 3 other files. All right. So I need the wave files. And I need the MIDI files. A4 config. Okay. I think I might see why the DOS install program didn't run. Fortunately, this README file does not contain system requirements, but it is quite possible these drivers don't work on a 286. I am wondering if they are assuming you're using a 386 or later. Oh, or I've got bad memory. Well, okay, that's nice. Not really. I have bad RAM. 0011716 hex. Unreliable XMS memory. Huh. Alright, well, we are going to push my luck and see if this program will run on a 286. But actually, if himem.sys detected unreliable memory, it's quite possible that I've got This RAM I bought from eBay is bad. Oh, yeah, I bet this program doesn't boot on a 286. MemTest. I bet MemTest doesn't run on a 286. Nope, I think that's a negative. All right. All right, I guess back to check it, and well, maybe I will put those other sims back in, but I do not remember what I pulled them out of. Whoa! Yeah, I think I definitely got some bad memory. Lovely. It just acted like I hit a reset button. Either that or the caps in the power supply are... Oh, that's weird. Okay, that's really weird. Okay, I think I definitely have some bad RAM in this system. I think my eBay purchase has... Oh, yeah. Okay. Either that or the motherboard's failing. Most likely, it's RAM. All right. Okay, well, I guess let me put the RAM I had in it back in it. Or Jeremy's asking, or weak contacts in the RAM slots. Well, I'll check. Oh, it actually seems like the... Well, it does seem as if the RAM's seated correctly, so... Alright, well, I may have to find a... Actually, one of the memory modules is warmer than the others. Alright, let's do this. Okay, so... If in doubt, contact clean it out. Okay, so the sim that was running warmer, I'm going to put into bank... No, I'm going to put it into bank 1 so that it's up higher in memory. So that if it actually is bad, then maybe I'll have a chance to actually get check it to load and run a memory test. Because I think I actually had it in bank 0. Which did who knows what to the system being able to run. Okay. I just contact cleaned the SIM sockets and resated the memory. And let's see what it does. And I think the SIM that was warmer than the others, I think, is in bank 1 now. Oh! Oh, we've got a memory error. Sure enough. The post memory test detected an error. All right. Okay. Well, I guess there's one thing to do, and that's let me put the other memory back in. I may have to. I mean, obviously, I'll have. Well, actually, I don't remember how long ago I bought this RAM. I may be. Maybe outside the return period. Okay, let me put this other RAM in. I kind of. I mean, given the fact that it was seemingly running fine and then all of a sudden stopped working and started giving memory errors, kind of points to be more of that one of those sims failed. No. Memory error. Or, well, maybe one of the logic ICs on this board failed. Maybe those aren't 1 megabyte sims. Okay, let me do one thing here. Okay. So I started having trouble after putting the sound card in. So let me remove the sound card and see if it starts behaving. I mean, I don't think the sound card would be causing an address conflict, but I mean, it could be doing something on the bus. So, oh, that would be sad if this machine is okay. So it makes it up to. Okay. All right. So I bet one of the transceivers has failed or something. Okay. Um. All right, well, I guess here's what I'm going to do. I'm pretty sure I ran a memory test on the onboard RAM. Unfortunately, what I'm going to try here is going to require me to take these two memory chips I put on the video circuit and put them back in the dipped memory because I'm about to jumper this board back the way it came and try dip RAM. Fortunately, I don't have schematics for this board, so if I do find that signs that one of the transceivers failed. Now, if this works, it probably means it's one of the higher bit transceivers or something, because I see there's a couple of logic chips here that I suspect are the transceivers for the memory. At one point, there was spare these motherboards on eBay. I may just I really think this board is if I really think it's start to think it's the board or the chipset, well, I'll much as I didn't want to buy the spare board, I'll buy the spare board just so I can have a working Matrix 2000. All right. So, in order to go back to the dip memory, I need to take all these jumpers and move them back to the left. And some of them are brittle, so I'll and then I think the three other jumpers I move to I think I moved them to the opposite positions too, or close to it. All right. All right. All right, so if I still get memory errors with the onboard dip memory, then that may very well indicate that some logic chip has failed on this board. And I mean, failure could include the solder joint. There's a cold solder joint or something like that. Doesn't necessarily mean it's logically failed. It could just be a solder joint. I guess it could. I mean, it could be a power quality issue from the power supply. I know there's weak caps in it. All right, there's that. And oh, what did I do with the manual? There it is. All right. Okay, so with this amount of memory, I need to set 0. So JP6 should still be a 1. Should be 0, 0, 1. I'm pretty sure that's how this shipped. And in this manual, 0 is jumper installed and 1 is jumper removed. Probably because the jumper is engaging a pull-down resistor. All right. 1 megabyte of DIP RAM back in the board, configured for DIP RAM, configured for 640K base and 384K of extended or EMS memory. And I will have to go into the BIOS and change settings too to match. Yep, memory changed, run setup. All right. Extended memory is... Oh. Oh. So I'm going to leave EMS disabled. Shadow RAM is disabled. All right. There we go. All right. Oh. Okay. I left the... I think it's... Oh. I left the image in the GoTech. Let's try that again. I don't think it'll boot. I don't think MemTest will run on a 286. Okay. Starting MS-DOS. All right. Well, I guess I can... Let me put the sound card back in and we'll see if I can install drivers for it. If this works now, then the problem was bad memory. If this doesn't work, the problem could still be bad memory or some other logic error. Maybe there might be a cold solder joint on the SIM slots. I didn't need to pull the motherboard out because the Dallas chip was socketed in this computer to begin with, so I've not pulled the board out. I didn't have to and no. No, this sound card program locked up. Bump says you have the Michelangelo virus. actually. Actually, probably just more a case of this sound card doesn't work with the 286. Although there definitely was a RAM problem, so this computer I'm about to set to the side for further investigation later. Because everyone wants to see the talking 286. And I can't blame you, because I'd like to try to work on it too. But this computer is not behaving correctly. Good night, Eric. Alright. Memory test. Oh, that's right. C for change. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. And 3 passes. Alright. I'm going to let this memory test run here while I go grab. There's one other thing I wanted to do on this system, which I don't need to do on this system. So while this memory test runs here, assuming it hasn't already locked up. Oh, no, it's just running very slowly. Oh, that's right. This is a 286. It'll be slow. Okay, I'm gonna go grab my IDE to USB hard drive adapter. I want to plug the original drive from this computer into my computer and see if I can copy some files off of it. I don't know if it'll. I think the drive. I want to say this drive actually does spin up because I think I've seen what's on it, which is why I want to copy files off of it. But we'll see if it spins up for me tonight. But I gotta go get the adapter, so I'll let you watch the memory test while I go upstairs real quick and grab it. All right. Okay, have the adapter. Let's okay. Because I don't remember exactly what was in or on the drive. I will plug it into my computer and see what, if anything, even comes up on the screen before I show a Windows, before I share my screen. Just in case. There's personal data or something of the nature that appears. All right. There we go. Got the USB adapter in. I'm going to plug the power in. All right. I plug the adapter into the computer. Okay, this drive may be too old for this adapter, because I didn't even hear the heads seek. Or I may have the drive jumpered wrong. Alright. I may have to set up a computer with an extra IDE channel to read this drive. Alright. T157A. Oh, USB device not recognized. Oh, that's lovely. Okay. Alright, let's see here. Okay. I'm pretty sure I have pin 1 in the right place. Jumpers. Single drive. Okay. Yeah, bet this is too old for the USB adapter. I guess I'll have to try another method to read it. Alright. Okay. Okay. I guess I will have to Huh. Oh, hey, Vborg. Welcome. All right. Well, I'm running a memory test on the first 286 because I was having some memory errors, and looks like they might have gone away after going back to the dip memory. So it's probably the disappointing note where I'm going to stop working on it and go to the second. All right. Yeah. It's gone. It went to a passive memory. Okay. And I figured out the hard drive that came with this system is too old for me to plug into a USB to IDE adapter because I was going to try to copy some files off of it. All right. Although, let me see if I have anything set up that has an IDE channel on it that would support that drive and like has DOS installed on it. I didn't really want Windows, like modern Windows, to start writing files to the drive, so I guess that's just as well. Um, Not enough IDE in that one. Okay, I got an idea. All right, All right, let me stop this memory test. I don't think it's going to. I don't think it's going to reveal anything special. All right, so. All right, I'm going to. Talking 286. Yeah, the Talking 286 is the one that's going on the workbench next. So this was just a 286 that has onboard Trident graphics. I tried to upgrade it to 4 megabytes of RAM and put a sound card in it, and it started giving me RAM errors as soon as I tried putting the sound card on. So I went back to the dip memory. The memory errors seem to have gone away, but I still can't get the program for the sound card to run, so I don't know. More troubleshooting is going to be needed for that system. All right. Okay. So live Linux environment. Nope, this is an actual physical PC. Oh, this PC. I don't think Oh, don't think Linux will run on a 286. I believe Linux requires a 386. So, besides, I don't think Linux would like the amount of RAM that's in this system, because it's only a megabyte at the moment. All right, let me set this aside, because this computer is going to require more troubleshooting than I want to spend on it tonight. Because I think I want to recap the power supply. Rule that out is the problem. To be fair, recapping's not always the solution, but I do know this power supply is showing symptoms of having weak caps, so it could actually be causing memory problems. Not supplying enough power. All right. I think it depends on the distribution, but I want to say that the Linux kernel still has support for a 486 in it. Because I seemingly remember reading an article or something that they had started to discuss dropping support for the 486. All right. So all right. So, that I think might actually go to this PC. All right. All right. So, oh, and I should probably go get the compact flash card that's in the. And by I think I need it, I mean I don't feel like figuring out which hard drive has a DOS install on it that's the right size for a 286. Right. Okay. So at the moment, because I'm not quite ready to start putting it back in the case, I'm going to just bench it. And I gotta remember which way is which. So let's see here. So that is going to be pin 1 there. All right. And floppy drive. All right. Oh, did I leave the Gotek on the other 286? I probably did. Okay. Oh. I totally understand the feeling of waking up from a nap and your brain is still jello. Yes, totally understand. No worries. Oops. Okay. So this 286 talks. Although the extent of its talking I haven't figured out yet because that would probably require me to have the original disks to restore the operating system from, because it included some software, but no one's archived that software. Parts of it might be on the Seagate drive that was in the other 286. At least the menu system that came with this computer. I think it might actually be on that Seagate hard drive. But the talking software, well, maybe someday I'll figure out what it was. All right. So Okay, so there we go. I've got the power supply. I'm just using an ATX power supply at the moment. All right, this has no onboard graphics, so I need to grab a card, and just because I just want to make sure that everything's working, I'm just grabbed the first card I found, which is an 8-bit Trident. The Cirrus Logic card I had in this computer last is slightly out of reach, so I guess I can't. Nope, I won't put the ESS sound card in just yet. And I think that's good for an initial power up. And for those of you that might have noticed, I forgot to plug the keyboard cable in. I did that on purpose.
Please check your keyboard connection. A system startup error has occurred.
Oh, that's weird. And then video went out of range. Okay, I don't know what that's about. All right, well, let me go actually grab. Let me plug in the keyboard. And let me go find the GoTech. And maybe we'll actually boot into it. All right. Oh, yeah. There is one thing I should probably note about this computer. VBorg. You will need to get a. You will most likely need to get a clock module from Glitchworks. And the reason or at least one that is made with the Dallas DS12885 clock chip. And the reason I say that is because I tried to use one of Necroware's boards built with the benchmark chip that Necroware suggests. And I don't think the BIOS on this board liked it. So your mileage may vary. Maybe I was having another problem at the time. I've got to build some more Necroware boards with the benchmark chip. I don't have one to spare right now to see if other things were the problem. But just if you do go and buy a real-time clock replacement, you may need to get one with the Dallas DS12885, such as the one Glitchworks makes, and not one with the benchmark chip. But yeah, because yes, this board is very annoying in that it will not boot if the battery's dead because it needs to save its settings. Also, hopefully you don't find that a previous owner set a password on it. But if that's the case, though, I can tell you exactly which chip you have to replace with a brand new one. There we go. Oh, did I? Actually, let me just. Oh. Oh, I think I know what the problem is now. I gotta set a hard drive. All right, let me see if I can remember how you get into the BIOS on this. There we go. Control Alt S. There we go. Setup. The 490, 430. Oh, okay. That I believe is correct. Okay. System information. All right. Okay. Oh yeah, this one actually would boot to BIOS as well, because I think it's got the Dawson ROM. Been a while since I tried to boot it to the Dawson ROM, although I was the aforementioned password the previous owner had set did kind of give me trouble because the password is stored in a small flash chip on the board, not in the battery back CMOS storage. So basically, if the password's forgotten, you gotta replace the flash chip that stores the hashes of the passwords with a blank chip. Yeah. The flash chip is the seemingly innocuous 8-pin chip that is below the even ROM. Okay. I kind of hoping that maybe it will give me an error momentarily. Like maybe I plugged the IDE to compact flash card adapter in backwards, even though I thought I had plugged it in the right way. Or I didn't. Alright. I don't think it's happy about something. I'm just waiting for it to, like, maybe give me a hint. Because this board has a dot on what I think is pin 1, but Okay, it's unhappy about something. Alright, let me rule out that. Let me rule out that I plugged this in backwards. By potentially plugging it in backwards. Alright. Okay, now I'm fairly sure it is backwards. Alright, press. Alright, skip the memory test.
A system startup error has occurred.
Yeah, okay, now that was backwards. Okay. So maybe. Maybe it doesn't like this compact flash card. Yep, mine's an Emerson 500 EC. There we go. It beeped. It just, I think, seeked the floppy disk. And. Oh. Maybe that's. Okay, let's, Alright, let me restart it. Oh, cool. Twinsies. That's being a bit, bulky right now. Alright. Okay, if this works, then something up with the compact flash card I put in it. Oh, there. Okay, it's booting from a floppy disk. It, I guess, doesn't like this compact flash card. Okay, there's no CD-ROM connected. But I think from this floppy disk, I can at least see if it sees the compact flash card. This is sometimes the fun with DOS. Ah, BIOS 3.05.06. Yep, cool. Okay. One bad thing about a 286 is it's going to take it a while to, like, decide there's no CD-ROM drives. Apparently. Alright. Alright, let's try this, and I'll, skip the startup files. just basically want to get to a command prompt because I want to run fdisk and yeah, Jack 68K. Oh, hey, Jack 68K. Yeah, it's Bananas, what they called the device name of the CD-ROM drive. And you thought it had to be MSCD01 or MSCD. Or, yeah, no, Banana's a totally valid device name. Okay, so oh, interesting. Okay, that is very interesting. This is the exact same compact flash card that I was using in the other Emerson 286. There is most definitely a partition on this disk. Interesting. Hmm. Yeah, don't know what's up. I don't know what's up at all. Alright. Well, let me pull the card. You can't hot remove them. All right, so let me pull the card because I wrote the drive geometry on the card so I could reference it. So 490 cylinders, 4 heads, 32 sectors. 490, 432. All right. All right. This type 0, 490, 432. That should boot device. Yeah. Yeah, the whole enter your drive geometry aspect of vintage PCs is so barbaric. Yeah. All right. Well, it must be something about that card it doesn't like. So 993 16 63. Okay. Swapping cards. I think I've got an OS installed on this card. Now what it is, I don't know. Um mine mine had the original hard drive, but it was dead. Dead, definitely confirmed dead. It would not. I think I was able to get it to spin up, but it never ever ran a self test. So never seek the heads. Yeah, I think it would spin up, but it would never seek the heads. So I pretty much realized it was a dead drive. Okay, so this compact flash card also does not have any yeah. The BIOS voice is very 90s Chrysler, your door is ajar sounding. Yep. Um, Maybe that'll encourage it to talk. All right. Will it boot? That is the question. Dear, 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 dear. Dear, 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 dear. There we go. Okay, so it can boot from the hard drive. The system clock is just a little bit ahead. Oops. Because it is only. Oh. No. Oh! Actually, daylight savings time. That's the problem. Okay, there we go. Set the clock. Hmm. Well, I guess I probably should. Maybe do a real quick DOS install so I can actually. What was I going to do on this system? Okay. Well, we'll get as far as I can. I don't know why this first compact flash card is like. It worked in the one Emerson, but won't work in this computer. That's just like really weird. All right, let me see if I can find the video card I was going to put in this computer. I'm tired of 8-bit graphic speed. I think the graphics card I was going to put in here is. Just over here. Assuming I didn't move it. No. Oh, there it is. I'm putting my compact flash drive back in the other. There we go. I got the video card here. All right, let's see here. Enter. All right. Even though I don't actually have DOS installed, whatever. Settings are correct. CDOS. CDOS run. Run DOS run. All right, so the video card for this computer, after DOS is installed, I'll put it in. Since my first 286 has a built-in Trident graphics, this one's going to get a Cirrus Logic video card. And what's cool about this card is I bought it on eBay. This was not a regret, but it actually was in the original box. And I kept the original box because that is a blast from the past. Just a generic add-on card for personal computer box. Just, yeah, the VGA 28A card, yeah. There you go. That's the card that's going. This looks like a 286 era box. And maybe it is. So that's the video card that's going to go in this computer. And if this computer cooperates more than the other one, I'm going to actually put the ESS 1868 sound card in this computer. Because it's kind of the, well, it's the best of what I have. Ideally, well, it'll do fine. I'm going to save the, if I do manage to get a AW64 or something, I'll save that for the Super 7 system. Yes, I made sure to put the Emerson 500 EC in the streaming description because it is one of those systems that I think people would search for if they ran across one for information. So if you are out there and you've happened to run across an Emerson 500 EC computer and are looking for any information you can, well, I'm hoping the couple live streams I've done with this computer, and eventually I'll see if I can't make a video out of some of that content to help condense it. I hope it helps you. Ah, yours was given to you. Cool. Yeah, mine came from eBay. And it's been interesting. So, anyways, one other thing about these Emerson 500 DCs while I'm thinking about it, they do not like the 287 XL math coprocessor. You'll get an NPU register error every boot if you put an 287 XL in the math coprocessor socket, which got very old very quickly. So I currently just have a 287, a normal 287 in it, and it works fine. I do. The other reason why I'm trying to install DOS so I can install Check It is I have this IIT 2C87 that I'm attempting to drop. And I was wondering if maybe it would get a pass from the BIOS, even though I think it's supposedly faster than the 287 from Intel, but I'm hoping that it still looks like a 287. Oh, hey Frankie. Welcome. So, yep, I'm hoping that the this computer will give a pass to the IIT brand one because I kind of like the idea of combining a nice math coprocessor with a 286 that runs at 16 megahertz. Except this computer, I'm not sure I would recommend buying an Emerson 500 DC, but if you're given one, great. Because there's just enough quirks with this system that it could be off-putting to a first-time retro enthusiast. Because there is the dead Dallas clock chip, and it will only boot to the BIOS if the Dallas clock chip's dead. Even if your hard drive works. Even if your floppy drive works. So, it's like, it'll only boot to the Dawson BIOS if the clock chip is dead. Okay, yeah. There's actually, that's not totally unusual. There's other computers that'll do the same thing. But then there's the password feature of this computer, and it saves the passwords in a flash chip. So those stay even if the Dallas clock chip goes dead. So there's that. Yeah, the BIOS retains nothing with the dead Dallas, but those passwords are in a flash chip. They're retained. I had to replace the flash chip. Luckily, putting a blank one in fixed it, and it acted as if it was brand new from the factory. Hey, 1-bit. Welcome. And then there's the, well, if you get this idea of putting in a math coprocessor, yeah, Sad Mac's right. That password feature is amusingly overkill. It is. It like supports passwords for 21 users. And this is a 286 that I believe was marketed to consumers, not businesses. And it's amusingly overkill in two ways if you really think about it. For consumers, a family of 21 is just absurd. Unless you're the Duggars. But they didn't have 21 kids back when the 286 was new. I mean, how many families would have needed 21 user accounts? There's very few. So it's overkill there. But then for businesses, the way they hash the password, it's comically weak. So I could see if it was a business computer, oh yeah, we want 21 user accounts. But the passwords are actually like really weak. So it's like, yeah, it's so bad it's comical. So I guess if you're and then the thing is though, really the passwords only apply when you power the machine up. So if you power the machine up and you log in with your password and it boots into the operating system and then you walk away, well, guess what? One of your brothers and sisters can just walk up that computer and embarrass you with some Yoda meme. I don't know. I mean, it's yeah, it's a boot time password. That password does nothing once you're in the operating system. So yeah, the entry on the RetroWeb about the motherboard has the data about the password and how to fix it. Yes. Yes. I'm the one that I believe I supplied them with the information that's there. Now it's possible someone else has added additional information, but yes, there is an entry on the RetroWeb for the 500EC. It's got some details on fixing the password. It also should have a utility you can run. So if you've got a certain version of the BIOS, you'll have trouble running like Windows 3.1, but there's a utility that will fix the problem. Basically, this BIOS sets one of the interrupt vectors to an invalid value. So when Windows 3.1 goes to like do a network operation, if you And I think it may, depending on the scenario, it may affect even if you're not don't have a network card. But anyways, it'll like call the interrupt routine for what should be the net BIOS or something like that. The BIOS is supposed to initialize the interrupt vectors to an actual valid address. So even if the BIOS doesn't handle the interrupt vector, I think it's supposed to initialize it to a interrupt handler that if it's not handled by the BIOS, it's just basically a return or something like that. Well, this BIOS uh, initializes that particular interrupt vector to a completely invalid address. So Windows calls the interrupt handler if you don't actually have. That's all right. I think if you don't actually have the network drivers installed to have actually set that to a valid value or something like that, then it hangs because you just sent the processor off into la la land because there's no valid interrupt vector. So yeah. Oh, yep, you found my Vogon's post. Yep. So I'm hoping that my troubles with this board, if someone does get it, it will save them some frustration. But yeah, as a first timer, if this is your first system, I can't recommend this one as a first system. It's got enough quirks that it's it could definitely be off-putting if this is your first experience. Although I will say though, it does have a few things that make it maybe worthwhile to have. It it is a 286 that runs at 16 megahertz, which while not the fastest, that's a pretty quick speed for a 286. It does support 8 megabytes of RAM. And yes, I'm mentally double checking that I said 8 megabytes and not some other measure. You can, in the BIOS, set the split between extended and expanded memory, and there is an expanded memory driver for the board. So if you have a program that needs EMS memory, you can actually set the memory to have some of it as EMS and some as XMS. And I mean, granted, yeah, I know with HiMem.sys, I think you can emulate EMS, but on this board, you could have actual EMS. So, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, yep. VBoard realized what I've accidentally said in some live streams. Yeah, used gigabytes instead of megabytes. So yeah, and it's got 5 16-bit ISA slots, which is not too bad because it does have an onboard IDE, an onboard floppy, a parallel, and 2 serial. So it would have come with a 16-bit VGA card, although maybe it wasn't actually a 16-bit VGA card. More on that momentarily. I believe it would have shipped with an oak VGA card. Just based on my best guess. I suspect it was the oak 037C, maybe? And that, even though that's a 16-bit card physically, I think the video part of it's only 8-bit, so. However, I'm not sure exactly what it came with. VBorg, I don't know if yours had the original card. I would be interested to know if that's correct, or maybe what yours has. Because mine, someone had pulled the video card out, which was weird. It had the hard drive in it, but not the video card. Of course, maybe that's because the person that pulled the video card out, thinking they could sell it separately, maybe they realized the hard drive was dead and there was. Oh, yours has an 8-bit chips VGA card in it. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Okay, that's not quite what I was expecting, but all right. Well, since I don't have the original video card for this computer, and actually for this computer I probably would have put a better card in it anyways to make it a little more enjoyable. All right, so I'm going to put my 16-bit Cirrus Logic card in it. and a Western Digital IDE drive. Yep, mine did have the... Yeah, it had a Western Digital drive in it. It was unfortunately dead, as I described. It would spin up, but it would never seek. So, unfortunately... you know, VBorg, if yours has the original drive in it, maybe you can help us out. Does your drive have the original Emerson software on it? I think Emerson shipped the computer with like a menu system and possibly the software to let it talk in DOS. If that is on your hard drive, could you maybe zip it up and submit it to the retro web so that those of us that have an 500 DC with a that had a dead hard drive might be able to put it on ours? So, unfortunately, I don't have like the full details because I've never actually seen it running on one. Oh, you've never been able to boot it due to the Dallas. Okay. Well, if you ever do get it booted to see if that is there, try to remember to zip it up and submit it to the retro web. You can do that on their Discord. And if you need help with that process, you can reach out to me because I've actually submitted stuff for a number of boards. Basically, every motherboard that I have, if I realize that something about it hasn't been archived, now I may have a board or two I haven't gotten to yet, but pretty much I try to do them as I get to them on a live stream or shortly thereafter. So, okay, you've submitted the retro web before. Cool. Yep. So you may notice as you have need to search for boards, you'll probably may run into a couple of my pictures, especially if you look at some of the live streams I've done and boards I've had. Yeah. So I have tried. Now, sometimes though, the board I have has the same BIOS, but yep, I have given them a number of different versions of BIOSes, and actually, I guess the other day realized I had a board and it had the very first BIOS version on it, and it was like I think it was the one version they didn't have for the board. So, although unfortunately that board was really awful, but well. Oh, cool. Yes, I think there's like one other person that did a YouTube video on it. But yeah. Well, anyways, I'll try to remember for the benefit of anyone that might find this video because they Googled that computer because they have one. I'll try to remember to put a comment in a pinned comment that links to the retro web entry for this computer, or I'll update the description one. Actually, why don't I update the description since it's me? Although if someone were to put, well, you can't do it while the live stream's going, but if I don't remember to do it and someone wants to paste the retro web link to this computer in the comments, I'll pin the comment. That way, at least if someone's Googled it and they see my video first, then at least it points them to the retro web entry with the password fix and the couple BIOS versions and the little bit of and the utility to fix the incorrectly initialized interrupt vector if they want to run Windows 3.1 on it. So all right. Okay, so I guess the last thing I'm going to get to on this computer is I'm installing Checkit because I want to be able to run the Checkit on the math coprocessor to check this one this IIT brand one. Because I'm curious to see if this board will accept it as a normal FPU or if it's going to squawk because it's different. I guess the other thing I can do real quick, if it will cooperate, is I can put DOS. I might be able to get DOS Bench on here so I can run the landmark. Or, yeah, I think it's landmark. Although that may be later because it's like, yeah, we're after midnight. Do have to go to work in the morning. All right. Ah, you're on vacation till after the New Year's. Yeah, I've got a little more work to do. All right. Up. There we go. Let's see what check it says. See here, main system benchmark. All right, let's see what the benchmarks are. So for this 8287, and the one I have in here is rated at 10 megahertz. So I probably am slightly overclocking it because the CPU speed is 16 megahertz and it's probably running at 2/3 of the processor speed like most computers. So I think it's a little bit overclocked, but it's as close as I had for working 287. So anyways, so the Intel 287 scored 313 whetstones. So, all right. So now, the math coprocessor is conveniently located right seemingly smack dab in the middle of the board. So I'm going to pop this out and pop this IIT one in because I'm curious. Will the system treat it as if it's a 287? Is it faster than this 287? Because supposedly, from what I've read online, IIT math coprocessors were faster than the Intel parts. So I guess the question is it fast enough? Is the performance increase enough that Check It will see the difference? All right. Math coprocessors in. All right. 3, 2, 1. All right. Well, it didn't explode. Skip the memory test. And it appears as if it's okay with it. VBorg says, might break out the Dremel and battery mod this Dallas tonight. My neighbors love me, by the way. Yep, know the feeling. I'm sure my neighbors love me too at times. But if I'm dremeling and they hear it, then that means they're probably right outside my basement, and that's creepy. Oh, look! It actually, check it, detected it as an IIT 80 to 87. That's cool. Oh, unlock's on. Cool. Ah, you work nights, so this is your normal time. Okay. Wow, look at that. 529.3 whetstones. All right. Like it. That's like 66% fa- 66% faster. I got to do the math. Let's see here. Here 313 by 529, is that? Oh, yeah, I think it's, oh wait a minute. That doesn't. Oh yeah, I think it's about 70% faster. But can it play Crisis? Be like a mushroom. The Crisis would be in my basement because I think it'd cause the computer to implode trying to load Crisis. Yeah, there'd be like a hole on my workbench. All right, that's cool. So I've got a nice math coprocessor for this system for all of the like very few programs I'll run on it that actually use a math coprocessor. But hey, I've got one. So, all right. Got a video card, got a fast math coprocessor. So hopefully I won't miss the fact that it didn't like the 287 XL, but well, apparently the IIT one's just fine. Which is kind of weird because apparently the IIT one is discernible to check it, but check it does not detect the 80 to 87 XL as anything different than a 287, which is interesting. Of course, maybe this version of Check It's too old. But anyways, so 16-bit video card, 8 megs of RAMs back in. I for some reason didn't like the 32 meg compact flash card, but it's happy with the 512 megabyte one, which I guess is good. That means the system's BIOS is at least probably capable of probably a probably has the 504 megabyte limit, but that's actually that's not bad for a 286. That it would support. Of course, I think this is a relatively late 286, so maybe that's why it's totally happy with a 500 megabyte hard drive because it does actually let you. It has a user defined parameters. Of course, the other Emerson 286 I have does too. But anyways, this is great. And this is actually kind of where I'm going to have to stop for the night because it's past midnight here. But I have to almost do want to at least maybe install the. No, I don't have the sound drivers in a way I can install them on this computer. So, anyways, unless. Okay, I'm tempted to try one more thing here. Okay. Here I am, pushing my luck. I guess I don't really need to. I don't know. I guess a sound card. All right. I actually am not sure the sound card actually requires me to run the utility for it to be configured. Oh, uh-oh. Oh, well, this might be a stopper here. I just realized that apparently at some point probably tonight, it looks like I accidentally ran over my speaker cable with my chair. Although maybe it wasn't tonight, but that might explain the static I've been having if maybe. Well, I'm going to have to get a new cable for my speakers. All right, I guess I'm not going to be able to test the sound card tonight because I can't plug the speakers into it. Yeah. Ah, oh, well. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I've got another sound cable handy. Oh, well. I guess that's what Amazon's for. All right. Well, let me unplug the cable from the speakers and stick it in my hoodie pocket so that when I get upstairs, inevitably, I'll probably manage to somehow not remember I put this in the pocket and I'll find it at work halfway in the morning. But at least the cable is now in my hoodie pocket. So theoretically, sometime in the next 24 hours, I will find the cable and I will then order a new one from Amazon. And that way I can be able to use my speakers because it would be a shame to not be able to use my Gateway 2000 branded Altec Lansing speakers. And yeah, I've got the matching set. Yeah, Jack 68K says don't put it through the wash. I probably I probably will not put it through the wash, though there is a chance I will anyways. Yeah, I would have probably not. Oh, I think I've run over more than just my speaker wear. Yeah, unfortunately, I probably would have not expected to put Justin Destroys His Speaker cable by running over it with a chair on my live streaming bingo card. Oh, got a random sound cable on my bench. Hopefully, I figure out what that went to. Anyways, all right. So the Matrix 2000 computer gotta have it. It's got some sort of a problem. Don't know what it is. That'll require more troubleshooting. The 500 EC computer at least got a math coprocessor sorted. I got the RAM back in it. Ran out of time with it. So I guess next time I have the two 286s out, probably won't do both in the same live stream, but because I think now I've realized the Matrix 2000 might be its own live stream now if I've got to go sort out some problem with a logic chip. This computer, I just need to probably sit down and finish putting it back together, which probably will involve me deciding, do I want to use this compact flash card? Do I want to use a mechanical hard drive? But Jack68K says, there are a lot of squares on my bingo card for Justin is disappointed with an eBay purchase. Yeah, that's, I think you got the easy. You got the easy bingo card there, Jack. I wouldn't brag about that one too much. Someone might come take it from you and give you the hard bingo card where it's like Justin is pleased with all of his eBay purchases. All right. Anyways, it is getting late. I am glad you all were here to join me. Glad you were here, Vborg. Nice to know have a fellow Emerson 500 EC owner out there. Glad the rest of you all were here too. See here. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Turn on notifications because you never know which computer I might pick next time. It could be the Packard Bell there. I could be streaming from that HP soon, hopefully. I mean, you probably see the Apple floppy drives up there, so that's kind of a hint. I mean, I might even do some assembly, but probably not likely on a live stream. But I got other computers elsewhere. But oh, hey, Jeremy, glad you were still here. Anyways, so yeah, subscribe, turn on notifications, because you never know what I'll pick next time. Although Tuesday, it's the 2CI. So I'll be working on the Macintosh 2CI because it's the 25th anniversary of my first domain name. So I'm taking a break from DOScember on Tuesday to work on the Macintosh 2CI because I registered that domain on a Macintosh 2CI, or it might have been a Macintosh 2CX, but, well, I have a Macintosh 2CI because it's the better of the two. So hopefully I'll finish that project and actually be able to get a network card in it, which I have floating around my desk somewhere, get on one of the retro web experiences where they have archived versions of website, and we will hopefully be able to see the Network Solutions website load on it from that archive web experience, and then maybe I'll remember how much the domain name cost back then, and am glad that there's cheaper options now. But oh, Jeremy might have some goodies for me. All right, well, I will stay tuned on that. But for now, it is getting late. I do have to go to work in the morning. So I would like to thank everyone for joining me here tonight. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you here next time. Ooh, cookies. As long as they're not browser cookies. So take care, have a great rest of your day, and God bless. Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you've liked what you've seen, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video or live stream. And as always, thank you for all your support. I hope to see you next time. And until then, take care.